got a good one for y'all today. Live stream coming in about 10 seconds. Ready? Going in about five, four, three, two, one. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? It is Jacob Compton here on Compton's Corner. I believe we're on episode number 4 right now. So I think we got a good one in store for y'all today, too. We had a really good weekend, to be honest. We had fights, we had football, of course, basketball, but it's just things are, not all the way there but nonetheless, great football weekend really made up for the lack of the wild card weekend that we had. So we'll get right to it, honestly. Divisional weekend, we're going to start off with the best one, the best game of the weekend, at least to me, because, I can enjoy dairy again, everybody. I can enjoy cheese. I can enjoy milk, but just all the good things that come from cows. I can finally enjoy. 49ers somehow pulled off a win against the Packers when just the entire game, it really seemed like the Packers had that. It really seemed like the 49ers were going to blow it, that Jacob was just going to continue to be pissed off. It is the Bears Super Bowl. It is every Bears fan Super Bowl watching the Packers lose in the playoffs. They make it there a lot more than the Bears do. And so at that point, we have one thing to root for. It's the Packers' demise. We hate them that much. So it was a beautiful thing to watch as a biased fan, but nonetheless, Brock Purdy showed something there towards late in the game to be able to drive them down like that. I mean, we will get to that, Denzel. Believe me, we have a get the outline today, bro. We're good. Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. Um, but as far as the 49ers, man, they showed. Hey, that's why you can win football games like that. Just grinding it out, finding a way to win at the end. Doesn't matter. Style points don't matter. That's one of my favorite quotes in football. And I think the 49ers team can really show that. However, a couple weeks ago when they played the Ravens, God forbid that becomes a matchup here in 3 weeks, depending on next week's game and everything, you're going to need a little bit more than style points. But in these kind of games, it's January, it's cold, wherever you're at, style points don't matter. So props to the 49ers again. I can finally enjoy Philly cheesesteaks with cheese on them. You have no idea how bad those suck without fucking cheese. So, boom. Ravens dominated the Texans. They covered that. Absolutely. Yeah, you just almost had to expect that. They are the best team in football. What up, Gus? Um, they are the best team in football, though. The Ravens. They are playing like it. Lamar, South Florida, bro. You got to root for this kid. All of us, at least down here, have to root for this guy. Pompano, Boynton Beach High School. He ran all over the Jensen Beach Falcons in 2013, bro, at a homecoming game. Everybody's like, "Oh, who the hell is this fast kid?" He ended up being it's going to be a two-time MVP, Heisman Trophy winning, and hopefully even I'm rooting for him at this point. Super Bowl winning quarterback. They're just showing why they're the best team in football. Props to C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. D'Amico Ryans did a hell of a job with that defense and team overall, getting a playoff win when really in Week 18 they weren't sure if they were going to make the postseason. They had to rely on the Jags losing. So good for the Texans on that. They have a lot of momentum to build on. I mean, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, the Cardinals have their pick. The Cardinals are going to have one of the top two picks in the draft and everything because the Texans are going to suck." That didn't happen, man. The Texans really, D'Amico Ryan's again coach of the year. It was just a little too much for them going into Baltimore like that. Very young team. They got a lot to learn. They'll get there. Next game, that was yesterday's game. So we had the Bucks and the Lions. Oh man, that was quite a game. I think the Bucks kept it a little bit closer than a lot of people anticipated, especially through 3 quarters. But nonetheless, the Lions, again, when you're at home like that, you gotta love the momentum that they're rolling off of with that home crowd and everything. They just really, you could see defense is buying into it. The fans are proper. They were quiet as a mouse when the offense was at work. And it's just as much as I don't want an NFC North team other than the Bears to win the Super Bowl, I'm you gotta root for Detroit. It's one of those, yeah. God bless. And the same thing for the fans go for the Bills Mafia, who unfortunately had to witness this in their own stadium, a wide right kick. Granted, this one was about a minute and a half left, a little over a minute and a half. Um, But nonetheless, it was quite a sight to see those Bills fans just putting their hands or their faces in their hands, absolute misery, and you had to feel bad, but it's also that's the beautiful game. That's that's the beautiful game, man. But nonetheless, Chiefs got it done. I preached it last week to the Miami fans. That is not the team you want to face. They are the defending Super Bowl champions. And to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. And oh, well, Jacob, they've had a way worse year this year. It doesn't matter. They have number 15. And he really showed why he is. He ain't the MVP this year, but, you know, he's the best quarterback in football. He's the most dangerous quarterback in football. He's the Steph Curry of football. He just put points up on you like that, that, that. He's just never out of a game. So good for the Chiefs. That's his first road playoff game ever, Holmes, other than Super Bowls. And he walked in like it didn't matter. Like, hey, I'm just here to win. 'Cause those Bills and Chiefs games are always going to be bangers. That was a hell of a game, nonetheless. I didn't see any bullshit really on like the refs and stuff like when they control the games late, it really sucks. But um, they didn't in really a lot of these games. It really was just fair. Even they let them play football. It's nice to see. That leaves matchups for next week. I'm not really sure who's the 3 and the 6 o'clock game, but we do know we got the Lions at the 49ers, and we also have the Chiefs at the Ravens. So Mahomes, again, back-to-back road games in the playoffs. That's going to be something completely new to him, even that. But nonetheless, again, as the best quarterback in football, he's dangerous on the road. He's dangerous at home. You just got to find a way to beat this guy. I mean, I don't know what the line is. Early line I might have seen was like 4, maybe even 3.5. Just stay away from it for right now until you get your actual picks. Go with a money line pick, if anything, for right now. If you're going to do some early betting, we'll explore it more into the week. Then after that, we have the Niners and the Lions. I think I even saw the Niners as high as 5.5 point favorites. Again, too early in the week to really start looking into it. Got to see how injuries play out and stuff like that. Got to see what Debo's up to because if they're full arsenal 49ers, that's scary. But I preached to you guys last week that decoys aren't really a thing. So if Debo's not all the way ready, I suggest for the 49ers to just roll with the talent that they already have on that roster and try and get the dub. That defense does need to play better than they did against the Packers. There were some points I know special teams help, but the defense was looking like Swiss cheese. Call it just holes all over the place. So can't have that. But nonetheless, I would say early predictions early in the week. I got the 49ers and the Ravens. I know it's been the basic pick, but the 2-1 seeds, they're playing like the best teams in football. As of right now, again, 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks out from the game in general. I would take the Ravens right now. Very, very wary though that just it's hard to beat a team twice in one season. That's why just division games are always so close. So if it were to end up being a Ravens and 49ers matchup, I would likely see the Ravens winning, but that spread, even though it was a blowout in that first game, that spread would be like -2. It wouldn't be high. That'd almost be a pick 'em game. So a couple other things, I guess, in the NFL before we wrap up with some other stuff. The Bears actually this morning finalized a deal to hire Shane Waldron as their new offensive play caller, offensive coordinator. I do not really know what that means, what we'll do at quarterback. The Cliff Kingsbury interview and everything, that kind of gave you a little inkling, like, okay, if they hire Cliff, uh, they're gonna draft Caleb Williams because he came from USC as the quarterbacks coach last year. It's just an easier transition. Yeah. So, um, but he's been with Seattle since 2021. To me, he did a pretty good job up there with, they had a couple wide receivers and everything. Quarterback situation just pretty much 2 years ago looked a little dicey, and Gino, he wrote back, bro. He wrote back. So, I think a big credit to Shane Waldron for that. He worked with the Rams from 2016 to 2020 before that. And he was the tight ends coach, passing game coordinator, pretty much all before Stafford got there. But nonetheless, some good years of Jared Goff. So I am excited to see what he can bring to this offense, no matter who is calling it. Um, yes, gentlemen, we are are going to get to the UFC. Jacob bet some money on that, some big money. Lost. We got to get to the America's champion there. We will get to the UFC, I promise. Um, but yeah, so that's going to be an interesting hire. Again, don't know what it means for the quarterback situation. Uh, it is one of those things you're going to have to ask the guy. Hey, you like Fields? If he tells you no, okay, well, we have the number one pick, so we'll go use it. There's a guy that's been the highly touted number one pick now for like 3 years. We're going to just take our chances. Got to do this. Oh, shit. We also have the ninth pick. So we could always just fall back and get him some talent based on our record there. We've been gifted the number one pick. We need to use it smartly. And in order to win in the NFL, you need to put the ball downfield. Justin Fields cannot. Caleb Williams can. What I've seen, get it done. So that's that with the Bears. Couple other things. The Patriots obviously hired their new coach, Gerard Mayo. I love that hire. The fact that they could just get it right the day after Belichick leaves. Beautiful. That's the Patriot way because you don't want to fall back in the offseason. That's just one less thing they have to worry about. They can really just start rolling with what they want to do next year. So I'm interested to see Gerard Mayo do that. It's just a good hire. You can't hate on that. The players love it, supposedly. Everybody in the locker room, especially that defense, loves that guy. Middle linebacker captain for that team for 10 years, Super Bowl champion. Yeah, he's a consummate Patriot. So great hire for them. Uh, I was just going to dive into the Russell Wilson situation a little bit, but nonetheless, I think after thinking about it, everybody was, oh, there's 8 head coaching changes that need to be made this offseason. One of them's already done, but nonetheless, 8 of them. So that's a quarter of the league. Holy crap. Wait this offseason for the quarterback carousel. Because right now I have 15 teams that could make a quarterback change. 7, like, definitely, and 8 maybes. But out of those 8 maybes, I could easily see 4 of them just, like, making it definite. Having, what, 11, 12 quarterback changes in the league? And then we saw with all the quarterbacks that got injured this year, you're going to see a wave of backups. Like, whoa, he's a backup here? Well, when this guy's getting hurt a lot, he's going to get his chance. It doesn't matter what these guys get paid. So the quarterback carousel this offseason is going to be so interesting. My list of teams, I guess I'll start off with defense. Uh, the New England Patriots to me are a definite, and I might sound crazy, but yeah, they need to make a change. That needs to happen. They have the number 2 or 3. I want to say the number 3 overall pick. Shit, if you want to trade with Chicago and try and figure that out, Chicago's the team to do with it. But they need to make a change from Mac Jones. That needs to happen. Zappy, no. Time for a new QB. Time for a new head man in there. The goal is to get out of the top 5 picks. Because when you have a top 5 pick, it means you fucking suck. So that's the goal for the Patriots, I think. Hey, we need a guy that can get us out of that. Not just some cornerstone piece. No. You need to go get a quarterback. The 2 in your roster suck. And even the Cunningham guy, I think he's elsewhere, but they try to leash him around the roster the whole season. No, it's not a quarterback. He's a wide receiver. That's why we see the slash wide receiver. Go get a quarterback. A couple other definites. I mean, I guess maybe don't flood one, but I think they should. It's the Tennessee Titans, but we're not going to see Ryan Tannehill, who was the Week 1 starter. He ain't going to be back next year. He said in the last game presser, so he's out of there. I don't know if they go with a Will Levis. I mean, when you draft a guy in the second round, it's not like you have to invest your whole team around him. If he works out, it's awesome. Or you get a Russell Wilson situation where you can just bank off of that for 4 years, cheap as hell. But the Titans will have a new Week 1 starting quarterback. Again, the big one that we were just going to talk about in general is the Denver Broncos. Who knows what they're going to do? They are stuck in a very, very tight cap situation. But from what it seems like to me, it's Sean Payton went in there, did a year with them, and said, "Nope, I can't do it. Since you guys have me tied for more years than you have with him, quarterback money is going to be pretty easy to get rid of." Yes, I don't know how that's going to ultimately. We're going to have to see this offseason. That might really shake up a lot of other teams to do something crazy. But nonetheless, they're getting rid of Russ from what it sounds like. So, yeah, they're going to have a new quarterback. Uh, the Las Vegas Raiders, it's not going to be Jimmy G. I don't know if it's going to be this O'Connell kid either. So, um, I think at that point, the Las Vegas Raiders are a definite. Chicago Bears are a definite. They will have a new quarterback starting week 1 next year. They need to make it happen. They will make it happen. It's just time to bring this city a guy that can sling the ball downfield. Justin Fields has all the talent in the world. I appreciate him for what he's brought, all the excitement, all the big plays he brought, but he didn't bring enough wins. So he's got to go. Bears will have a new quarterback. The Atlanta Falcons, they are not riding with Desmond Ritter, whatever the hell his name is. He sucks. He's not that good. He's a backup. Keep him around as that. Taylor Heineke, any of that? No, they need to go get a guy. They have a lot of good weapons on that offense too, and that offensive line is graded out as a top 5, top 10 offensive line in football. They need to go get a quarterback that can sling the ball downfield. That's how you win games. And if it's not working, maybe you take your attempts at it. That's the name of the game. You just got to keep trying. And then I believe that wraps up all my definites. So that's 7 definites. That's the Patriots, Titans, Broncos, Raiders, Bears, Falcons. Couple of the maybes though. I got the Saints. I mean, I don't know if Deshaun Watson is the week 1 starter. I'd imagine with all that money. But again, Russell's getting dumped for all the money he signed for. Maybe the Browns really look into, hey, how the hell can we get rid of this guy? Because he's not playing that good. We had Joe Flacco carry us for whatever, so maybe you start fresh, cheaper contract. Somehow or another, just find a project guy that can just manage the game for a bit. I'd really look into the Cleveland Browns making a move there. Uh, Next, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Supposedly, they're going to bring in competition for Kenny Pickett, so it's not like Kenny Pickett's leaving or anything. But don't be surprised if they bring in a good enough guy, and Kenny Pickett's just not the guy, and they just end up having a good old quarterback competition. We got a new week 1 starter next year. Again, talented roster. Somehow or another, went 10-7 this year. It's clearly based on the coaching and a lot of the roster pieces they have. So don't be surprised that there's a new one there. Uh, this is an interesting one right here. I did forget one of my definites. Shame on me. Is the Washington Commanders. Get back to our maybes, but the Washington Commanders easy. I mean, Sam Howell, all right numbers, but you got to find a new lead guy. So I do apologize for that crew. Back to our maybes. The interesting one is the New York Football Giants. Watching Daniel Jones's presser at the end of the last game and everything. I'm not worried about a new guy coming in for competition. I think I've earned my role or my spot. No, you haven't. Why? You think a playoff win earns you that? Bro, come on. And that's what I really, really almost fear out of like a Jordan Love. He's gonna get paid massive. He has one playoff win. Granted, it was this year, but come on, let's pump the brakes. Same thing for like a Baker Mayfield. You got a playoff win this year, but you didn't get past that. So it's not like the Bucks need to shell out $45 million for Baker Mayfield spread across 4 years. To me, make it reasonable. 3 years. That's what you've earned. You're not on a year-to-year basis. We'll give you 3 more years to try and figure it out. And then we'll give you like $35 million. We don't gotta get caught up in a Daniel Jones situation. I get it. These quarterbacks try and reset the market. It's what they're supposed to do. These NFL teams need to take control back. This is not the NBA. You do not let them walk all over you like that. And you say, hey, no, based on what Daniel Jones did, we can't do that. And if some other sucker team wants to pay him like crazy, that team probably doesn't have the roster that the Buccaneers have. Let him go there, and he'll end up being Baker like Carolina. So just I caution these teams, even though they aren't listening to me. But I do caution them, hey, don't overpay because we really have to see how the Broncos handle that situation to like see how you can get rid of that kind of money. I think that's going to be a real big thing to watch because if they are able to pull it off successfully, you're going to see a ton of other teams do it. So, uh, teams like the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, Kirk's a free agent. He's talking about, oh, you can't pass up the opportunity to play with a Hall of Fame coach and stuff. That's Belichick, who's linked to Atlanta, who's on our definite list of changing quarterbacks. So, at that point, again, Minnesota Vikings are going to have to make a move for a new guy if that's the case. I mean, Kevin O'Connell at that point can pick his own guy that he wants to run that offense. But nonetheless, it's just, again, finding a quarterback's not easy. Bears have been trying to do that for a fucking 100 years. So, you know, all these people, oh, we'll just gotta get somebody new. It ain't that easy. It's not. You do have to try. But, for any of the pessimistic Dolphins fans, as much as I shit on Tua, no, you're not getting a new quarterback. That guy has executed that offense. Look at his numbers. Look at how many wins you got. He's just got to keep nailing at it. Got to keep hammering at that coffin. That coffin is a super, So puts all uh puts all the doubters to sleep. Yeah. But back to our maybe teams. The New Orleans Saints. I have a big. What the hell are they gonna do? Is Derek Carr really the guy? Guys, sure, Bears blew it for you to make the postseason, but you can't rely on other teams to get you into the dance. You got to get it done yourself. Derek Carr wasn't able to. Hmm. Don't know. Maybe they want something else. I'm surprised they almost did make a coaching change. I don't think Dennis Allen's gotten it done with a very talented roster down there in New Orleans, so not really sure. Another maybe team we kind of elaborated on it minutes ago was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, just got to keep an eye out how they handle that Baker situation. I think if he's demanding too much money, hey, thanks for what you did, but go with Kyle Trask. He's cheap, and we they have a lot of free agents to pay this offseason. So, as much as you probably want to prioritize Baker, again, it's very tough to find a quarterback. Just, he ain't that special. He ain't $40+ million special, if you ask me. And if he is, you do it for 2 years, 3 years max. Because at that point, you don't want to get tied up. Don't. Dead cap space money, shitty. Get away from that. Two other teams on that maybe list. It's the Arizona Cardinals. Tyler played well towards the end of the year. That Philly win, I think that really just decimated Philly too. Um, but nonetheless, I'd really keep my eye out on that because they're one of those top four teams in the draft, top five teams, and it's just maybe you do want to make that change. With all these guys that are going to be changing teams too, you never know what's going to happen. When Russ got traded to the Broncos 2 years ago, it was like, holy shit, we might see like three or four holy shits this offseason. The Cardinals could be involved in one of them. Another team that could be involved in one of those, 'cause it's like, what? Like maybe, but it's like is Seattle Seahawks. I don't know if Geno's like, I know he signed, but they signed him to what was a smart deal, one of those 3 4 year deals that you're not extended too much with them. Paid the man for what he did the previous year, but same time we can cut you off here if you ain't getting it done no more. So I really would look out for the Seattle Seahawks to possibly make their own move. They have a new offense coordinator that they're going to need to get to. So the point we will really, really have to see. So that's again all 15 teams that really, and that's almost half the league. And odds are all 15 of them aren't going to. Shit, I might have even missed a team or two that says screw it. We're gonna trade Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford a couple years ago. You probably wouldn't like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You'd have never guessed that, but it's just one of those things. Brady really, again, we all owe it to Tom Brady. God bless you, Tom Brady. But Brady showed it that you plug and play a quarterback. Sometimes it's all you need. Rams did it the very next year with Stafford. It's just what you need to put the ball downfield to win in this NFL. And that's where I'll wrap it up with the NFL, honestly. So let's get right to it with what I always wanted to talk about. That's what's next. Do a little Bears rant later. But right now, UFC 297. Oh man, Jacob. He had Neil Magny at plus 260 to win. He had a crazy comeback in the third round to win by technical knockout. Boom, check. And Raquel Pennington to win the bantamweight championship, which that division, if Pena can bring a spark. But anyway, had her to win it, check. And then Jacob had America's champion, the Philly Shell Special, Sean Strickland, to beat Duplessis, which, if you ask me, I'm not even being biased. He won that fucking fight. It was 3-2. I've seen somebody say 49-46 Duplessis. They are absolutely insane. Sean Strickland just never backed up once. And that to me has mattered in fights before, especially from these judges, where just activity, activity, activity. Sean was the most active, and Duplessis was just, it was actually kind of ugly the way he would just like throw some of these like crazy shots. And Sean like would just duck out of them. And as impressive as it looked, I think Sean was probably sitting there saying, like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? The only reason why Sean had that much like blood and head damage, as he said it, he got headbutted. He didn't even make excuses for it. He's like, ah, shit happens. Beast, bro. But Sean Strickland won that fight. And I think just a little blood to his face made it really seem like Duplessis. 'Cause stop. And as much as I respect the sport of wrestling, he was 6 for 10 on his takedowns. Sean, if you saw it, was able to get right back up. It's not like he did these takedowns and like, oh shoot, like I was able to keep him on the ground, ground and pound, try and put him in some sort of submission. No, Duplessis didn't do any of that. Sean was just getting himself right back up off of good takedowns, but there was a lot of good takedown defenses. So when you just look at it damage wise, I don't know. Duplessis really said it right after the fight. I got a lot prettier right before this, and it was like, God damn, yeah, because Sean beat the shit out of him. Once Sean, you know, glued up his little cut and everything, he had a little swelling, but it was just like, okay. So there's sometimes where you could look at both fighters after the fight and be like, who really won the fucking fight? And Sean Strickland, who I had picked, had some good money on it. All I needed was that one, and he lost. But nonetheless, it was a good fight. I will say it was one of those like, wow, 5 round wars. They were active the whole time. I don't think Duplessis is that good though. I really don't. Like, I think the UFC probably really wanted him to win because they really wanted to ride off of the Duplessis Adesanya rivalry. I don't think they make it to UFC 300. I think the UFC's, as much as they're really trying to buy into UFC 300 and everything, they cannot forget about those events. At like there is a UFC 301, there's a UFC 302, 303. I would imagine is probably when McGregor comes back for International Fight Week, and there's just other events that, hey, you don't have to pack everything into UFC 300. But nonetheless, that card so far, how they have it, is absolutely brilliant. Um, I mean, they just added Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway to that card. What a fight that's going to be for the BMF championship. I mean, both of them will probably agree, fuck the BMF championship anyway. It's just a fake belt. But nonetheless, that fight is going to be awesome. Um, Prohaska is fighting Rakic. That's gonna be a hell of a fight. Our boy Bo Nickel, shout out to Bo Nickel, Denzel. Bro, we gotta put 1,000 on that man, bro. First round finish. Under 2.5 minutes, too. Doesn't even make it out. So, Denzel, if you're watching, we're doing that. We're putting the mortgage on his ass. Because he's next. Izzy and Duplessis are gonna have their little fun. Might be able to throw like Chimaev in there. But Bo Nickel wins crazy this weekend. And then they want to set up an Adesanya Duplessis thing, do not be surprised if they pair up Bo Nickel against Kamshot Chimaev, really, because it would be go Bo Nickel at that point, bro. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But nonetheless, Bo Nickel's on that 300 card. Cody Garbrandt's fighting Davidson Figueiredo, Bobby Green, Jim Miller, Calvin Cater, welcoming Aljamain Sterling to the featherweight division. Um, Oliveira is fighting. I can't pronounce his last name, but we're just going to call him Armand. He's a crazy up and coming lightweight that just knocked the shit out of Neil. So that's going to be big. And then Zhang Weili's fighting another Chinese fighter. And I'm just not going to be inappropriate and try that. Actually, let's do it. Yan Zionan. We're just going to call her Yan. Yang versus Zhang. Awesome. Love it. Chinese bitches going at it. Bunch of women ninjas. That's insane. Love that. Let's go. So far, so good. And I think that they still have a crazy main event they do want to offer up. I don't know if it's going to be, the reports are is that Khabib's been training. His fat ass is probably only going to be able to cut down to 170. So, oh, but yeah, his fat ass is only going to be able to cut down to 170. So at that point, they might do like a Leon versus Khabib. They're trying to do something because Connor's not going to be ready. I don't think you're going to get Brock Lesnar, especially he's got steroids flowing through him. It's not like we've heard anything in the testing pool or anything. But Khabib's coach says he's been training with him, and I don't know if Khabib ever took himself out of the pool or anything like that. Um, if he didn't, then he's just right back in it. But nonetheless, only when Khabib's training is when he's fighting. Otherwise, he's at practice, he's appearing, he's rolling around and stuff like that, but he's not training with his coach unless he's preparing for a fight. So I don't know if that's something to watch out for. That's what that's reports are from Chael Sonnen too, by the way. I don't want to get any copyright infringements or anything. But yeah. So that's gonna be something to really look out for. UFC 300 though, that's That's gonna be a sick card. The one in 299, honestly, is gonna be sick too. What I saw. Let me make sure got a bunch of. Let's get a good look at that one. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, they have a ton of fight nights. 299 and 300, but nonetheless, I mean, this fight card already. It's like he's really trying to set up 300 to just like, okay, you think I got something here? Boom. I mean, the main event, Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera. They just added Dustin Poirier and Benoit Saint Denis just a couple, like a week or so ago. Curtis Blades fighting the Almeida Brazilian heavyweight. That's going to be a sick one. Gilbert Burns is fighting Jack Della Maddalena. Blah, blah, blah. Michael Page makes his UFC debut versus Kevin Holland. I mean, Peter Young is on the prelims of that card. He was just fighting Sean O'Malley 2 fights ago, like in a split decision. Some people say one. That's crazy to think. I almost disrespect Sean O'Malley. Such a king. So, the UFC is really loading up for a hell of a 2024. I honestly thought they had a all right, but almost stagnant 2023. You know, the fighters are starting to get, oh, I only want to fight twice a year, and I hate that. We only had Adesanya really being that active as far as the champions, him and Volk, actually. So props to them, but everybody else, I mean, Leon, I cannot stand Leon Edwards. And I mean, Colby fucked up in that last fight, so I really don't even want to, like, say, like, oh, you know, he doesn't deserve to be champion, but he's just so boring, you know? He got a head kick, and then just, that's it. If you look back at that, he really has never, like, knocked out anybody. He doesn't have, like, that crazy power. He's a good fighter, but he's just that welterweight division, those middle of the pack divisions, you know, lightweight, the welterweight, middleweight could be some of the most fun divisions because it's just some of the craziest athletes and I don't want to say the most relatable, but it's just far as just like average humans. Yes, you know, those are the weight classes of those kind of like average humans or Americans even. So they look to those guys like, holy shit, that guy's fighting at 155. That's nuts. You know, not all of us are walking around at 260. So those heavyweights, and you know, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Odds are you're going to watch a knockout. So it's just that's why those middle of the pack divisions really, really, really are just like the interesting ones. So when they get stagnant, like the welterweight division has been, it sucks. So Leon's just a bitch, honestly. He's saying these guys don't deserve that. I don't even like Bilal Muhammad. Like I laugh at all the memes and things that make fun of him online. But for Leon to say, "Oh, he doesn't deserve a title fight," like, bro, the guy hasn't lost in 10 fights. I don't. I don't. I really don't. It's just, you know, I don't think I'm that much of an asshole. It's Colby, and I'm not fake. Like Colby's fake. We love Colby, but it's fake. It's funny. It's hilarious. You know, and it's the fight game. So as far as everything he had to say, yeah, I don't think it's wrong. It's the fight game. You're supposed to get personal because in the long run, they're going to take themselves in a cage and beat the shit out of each other or try to. Leon didn't try to though because he's a bitch. So, but no, do I see myself in Colby Covington? I do not, Denzel. Um, I do not. But it's nonetheless get me off topic. God damn it. Oh, Bilal Muhammad. Yeah, he deserves that next title fight. So I don't know when. I don't think that's the super fight they make for 300 though. So I think if you're not going to do Khabib versus Leon, then at that point just don't even make a fight for welterweight until later. Wait for 302 for all I care. But yeah, so UFC 297, man, it was a good one. I saw the Charles Jourdain. He got a little screwed out of that fight. I guess Bruce Buffer called his name, and the other fighter won it, so it was all confusing. It happens. Even the UFC is allowed to have their Steve Harvey moment. You know what I mean? So just let him be. It was a prelim fight anyway. You know, if it was like the main event, then we'd be like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? That's not okay. That's not cool. That's why it didn't make headlines at that point. So, well, yeah, that was that was it. Bueno Silva, she got dominated by Pennington though, and then Duplessis and Strickland. They ended up earning fight of the night. So at least they each got 50K in their pocket. No, I'm pissed. Strickland should have won that fight. He really should have. So I guess that leads me to my Bears rant. Sorry, boys, UFC's over. But my Bears rant. So, especially now with Shane Waldron is the new offensive coordinator. At that point, I don't think he's going to have like a huge say in who the Bears take at number one, or if they even decide to get rid of Fields or whatever they decide to do. But I think you should have some little inkling with him, like, hey, who would you rather have? Who do you think you'd succeed with? Tell me the pros and cons, maybe, of having Justin Fields or a Caleb Williams. I just really think at this point you're going to find more pros with a Caleb Williams. So you got to do what you got to do. Take the quarterback. We've just seen it year in and year out. We need a guy that can elevate the guys around our team. You know, nobody heard of the guys in Houston before C.J. Stroud thrown the ball at an elite level. Same thing with Jordan Love up north, Packers. These guys have just been able to elevate the people around them. Justin Fields is not. Justin Fields has actually even been, dare I say, catered. Where we had the number one pick last year, and we said, you know what? We're not going to take a C.J. Stroud, your replacement, or anybody for that matter. We're going to trade back. We're going to invest in you. We're going to get a tackle. Shit, we're going to give you a wide receiver one. We're going to build up the offensive line a little bit more, and we're going to see where this takes you. It didn't much. Like, I can't say, oh, he improved or, you know. Would I say he's one of, because he made the list last year, would I say he's one of the top 100 players in football? Maybe. Maybe. Just based on his talent. But what's crazy to think is he's not a top 20 quarterback. I bet you could find 20 quarterbacks that you'd rather have over him. 21 if I include Caleb Williams. I don't want Drake May. That's just going to be another Trubisky situation, Sam Howell situation. I don't want it. As much as he's the prototype and everything, let's look at it like this. For 3 years now, we've been saying, oh, wow, when Caleb's ready to go to the draft, he's going to go number one in that draft. In 2024, he's going to go number one. The only thing is if he doesn't declare and wants to make his own money on that NIL shit in college. No, he declared, knowing that the Bears have the number one overall pick. So at that point, I really think he's prepared to go to Chicago. He's prepared for anything, I'd imagine. When you declare like that, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, I know as much as teams are talking to you and everything and giving you a little insight and doing their homework, even, he's probably pretty sure, hey, I have to be the guy to resurrect the Bears franchise. He's seen all the crop photos of him in a Bears jersey and whatnot, all the edited pictures. I think at that point you don't declare. If you say, "Oh, I want to do something with UFC in this wherever they're at, the Big Ten, wherever the hell they're at," then yeah, you would have stayed and made another 15 million in college. But no, he's saying, "Nope, prepared to be on a bad football team. It's not that bad. But I'm prepared to be on a bad football team and trying to elevate them. What they are is they're a quarterbackless franchise and have been their entire existence. Sid Luckman, sorry for anybody that's watching this that was born in the 40s, 30s, even watching that guy. Props to you. Let me know what he was like. I bet you he was awesome. But let's keep it real. He wasn't playing against any black people, and they're just far superior, better athletes than any of us. So let's just keep it real. That's, yeah, throwing that out the window. Sid Luckman. Eh. My favorite quarterback of all time is fucking Rex Grossman. Like, that should tell you enough how miserable I am as a Bears fan. Justin Fields is probably number two at this point, but no, Rex Grossman took us to the game. So, him and Devin Hester, the defense. But nonetheless, he got us there. Played all 16, all 18 games that year. Got us to a Super Bowl, lost it. That's why that guy's my favorite. I just want to win. That's all we want. I want to win. And to his everlasting credit, Sexy Rexies, he could put the ball downfield, a lot of turnovers, but he could sling that fucking football. Justin Fields, I don't think. Sure, can he? Yeah, I think you can find anybody that can throw all 60 yards downfield. Can he read a defense? Can he make the right play? And maybe this new offense court, maybe it really was play calling. Maybe they give him that Alex Smith opportunity. of, hey, we just got to try 8 different coordinators before it finally clicks. But you know who it did finally click with for Alex Smith? Was fucking Jim Harbaugh. Why didn't you hire him, Chicago? It was just simple. He was still on the market. This is your perfect opportunity. Eberflus lost the last game of the year against the Packers, which is our Ohio State versus Michigan. And if you can't cut that, I'm sorry, he should have went. You wanted to get rid of everything else, but I don't think you would have lost the locker room getting rid of Matt Eberflus. So with the Bears, I think again we're Jacobs. Not even poll, but prediction is they're going to trade Fields, get at least a second rounder for this guy, invest in more draft capital because you're going to take Caleb Williams number one, reset yourself on the quarterback pay scale because it's just going to be in the long run it's going to be cheaper for another 4 years than keeping Fields and having to re-sign him to any deal, God forbid long term. And then you try and fill in some holes at like 9, and again, maybe with a pick that you get with Fields. If they can get a first for Fields, the Bears are fucking rolling. And I know there's some team out there that sits there and looks at Fields like, we can turn him into a star. And they probably can. Again, if Brock Purdy wanted to hurt, or no, wanted to hurt himself or got hurt again or something like that, 49ers should jump on Justin Fields like they should have in the draft a couple of years ago instead of Trey Lance. But that guy would freaking kill it in San Fran, especially with those weapons around him. The screen passes they're actually able to pull off and everything, the dump arounds and whatnot. Fields would kill it, and then he could run a freaking 4-4 while he's at it too. Way better than Brock Purdy. So, um, I don't know though if they can pull that off, and again, get Williams, get No Dunze, get a Joe Alt, the tackle from Notre Dame. I don't care what, but last year they focused in on the defense in the draft. This year it's the offense. If everything doesn't work, you clean house. Hopefully Harbaugh stays with Michigan so that next year he can come. Because I don't know, I've seen the Chargers. I guess that's like the big one. Like, okay, he's got a real estate agent out there in LA. I look at it as like, I love vacation time too, if I were him, especially in those cold places that he lives during the winter. But when it comes to in the season, no, he's a Midwestern guy. As much as we want to say he's a Cali guy, no. He's loved Ann Arbor. He's loved Ann Arbor more than any other spot in the pros. He would love Chicago. Did more than any other spot. So we'll have to keep our eye on it. Again, that 2% chance, it's not going to happen this offseason. We're going to leave it at a 2% chance, even just standing today, because next year really might be the year. And Eberflus is on the hot seat. The fact that, you make an announcement, hey, we are retaining him. And people are, like me, split about it. Or, just, some people are like, okay, that's the right move. Or some people are like, what the fuck? That tells you, okay, well, he's on the hot seat. He's got to get something done. Hasn't had a winning season yet. 2 years, I don't care. Oh, you improved this year? Doesn't matter. You need to, okay, then we need to improve this roster this offseason. And with that improvement of this roster, which we will clearly have, there are the most intriguing team this offseason. But with these moves that we can make this offseason, he needs to win. And if not, you go find a guy that fucking can. No rookie head coaches either. Go find an experienced guy. I'm not saying like a Belichick who's 80 years old and can't relate to the guys around, but go get a guy. Even if it means you have to trade a coach to here or there. Get Tomlin at that point. Something. Because if he's staying this year and they're already talking like, oh, he wanted to leave, shit hits the fan there and shit hits the fan with us in Chicago, go make a move. That's what we need to do. That's about done with my Bears rant. So I did have somebody mention to me, hey, Jacob, why, you don't have to make it all about sports. I was like, you know what? You are absolutely right. I don't need to make it all about sports. So, just walking around, I don't want to totally just bitch and moan all the time, though. But I was sitting there listening, overhearing somebody, and I'm not going to mention names, but yeah, oh, they said, I'm 50% Italian and 50% French. Sitting there thinking, unless they were born in motherfucking Naples or Rome or Paris or Nice or anything like that, you're not that. Did you forget what home soil you were born on? You're motherfucking American, bitch. That's what you are. So I guess this is what grinds my grapes. Just thinking about that, I think you people and everybody needs to remember that when you're talking about this, that, that. Don't forget what home soil you were born on, because the next generation that you have after that needs to consider that. Oh well, we are American, and yes, we are. I'm not going to get too political or anything like that, but I just need to get that off my chest. Some of you people forget that you are Americans. American. Forget I'm Italian this, I'm Italian that, you know. Oh, I'm Irish. So what if you got a small dick, bro? You're American is what you are. Don't fucking forget it. So for all my people, boom. Not bad. I'll take that. We were able to get 45 minutes reeled off today. Again, to my main people, especially my live viewers, Denzel and Matt, we're rolling. We got our outlines and everything. We're just gonna keep working. We're gonna keep editing. We're gonna keep learning. We're gonna keep growing. Do not forget either that Compton's Corner special at StewartOriginals.com. 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 You type in promo code DeCorner23 for 20% off your order. Bro, that is a killer deal. What is already on killer deals for that stuff, which is already killer gear. Socks, shirts, shorts, those bass shorts, bro. You got everybody, sell my man Matt out of those because them shits are fire, bro. I'm washing them shits twice a week just to wear them all the time, all the time, all the time. Those things are so comfy. I'm a big fan. It's StewartOriginals.com, StewartOriginals.com, StewartOriginals.com. Go check it out. Also, again, my boy Zay Detailing. He'll do your car better than anybody. Every Sunday, you can contact him through me at that point. So DM, message me, however it is. On YouTube, I've been told that I've had the comments disabled. Again, growing, learning. I will try and get those enabled for you so everybody can fire away, start making fun of me, do whatever the hell you guys want to do. But nonetheless, to anybody that's viewing, has viewed, is going to view on YouTube, I appreciate you. Follow us again on Twitch, Compton's Corner 95, at YouTube, at Compton's Corner 95 as well. Appreciate y'all. Love, respect, bear down. You dig.